tried to start a road trip. I'm on the road. I'm not in the Tampa area. I am in Ocala, Florida, sitting in the parking lot of the Ocala Police Department on Pine Avenue. My alternator died. So apparently it was dying or died last night when I went to get gas to top off the gas tank, so I wouldn't have to do anything this morning, but I'll hop in the van and go. And the battery died last night. Red flag. But I figured it was just an old battery. I've had this van for 2 years. I've never changed the battery. Oh, and I just want to apologize really quickly. I have a fan going, so if this audio is bad, I apologize. It's hot in here. I'm not going to stand outside, even though I'm in the parking lot of a police department. I'm not trying to bring attention to myself. At any rate, my battery died last night. As I was gassing up the car, I did use my jumper, my little jumper unit, and it worked perfectly. It jumped the car right away the first time. And the goal was to limp my way over to AutoZone and have them take a look at it. I made it to AutoZone while I was in the turn lane, waiting to turn. The battery completely died, but I was already cranked up and I was still going, and I managed to get across the street, make the left, make the right, get into the parking lot of the AutoZone, and a lovely gentleman assisted me in getting a brand new fresh battery. So I opted for the best robust battery you could give me, we got that installed. We cranked up the van and the battery light was still on, and I said, well, the battery light is still on, what's the problem? And he says, well, either your alternator is going bad or is bad, or the system needs time to get acclimated to the new battery, so that I needed to drive it for about 20 or 30 minutes and let it settle in and then see what happens. And if the light comes back on, you need to go get it checked out. And I said, okay. So I did that. I went and got myself something to eat, drove around, parked the van, went inside, started packing packing my stuff. I had packed everything else in the van. And about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I went back outside, cranked up the van, cranked up fine. Battery levels look good. No battery light. I thought, oh, this is great. Okay. So went, got a few hours of sleep, woke up this morning, packed the rest of my stuff, my food, went outside, cranked up the van, cranked up perfectly, good voltage levels, no battery light. And I'm like, okay, this looks like it's a keeper. I guess I can get on the road and go. Otherwise, I was just going to go, wait till Firestone opened up and let them look at it where I live. But there was no battery light, so I figured I'm good. So fast forward to the other side of Wesley Chapel, Florida, going north on the 75 freeway, the battery light comes on. So now what do I do? Okay. So now about 60 miles from home, 60, 70 miles from home, and the battery light comes on, and the battery charge seems fine, so I didn't know if it was just a light, something needed to be reset or what. So I figured, you know what, I'm going forward, I'll just find a Firestone further up the road. So I figured if I can make it to Ocala, I can find a Firestone and maybe they can take a look at it, help me out, do whatever they need to do. So I get to Ocala and I find the Firestone, and I get there, they're completely booked. They have a full day of appointments, and they wouldn't be able to get to me till tomorrow or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of stuck, I'm out of town. He says, can't help you. Couldn't even look at the alternator to just confirm that it's dying. They wouldn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I sat in their lobby and proceeded to call other Firestones in the area. And I called 2 or 3 others, and they all had the same thing. We can't get to you till tomorrow. So, and a few of them were closed. So then I called my Firestone back home, and they said, oh, if you can make it here today, yeah, we can probably, help you out today. And I thought, great. I said, well, I guess I'll just limp my way back home. And he says, wait, no, you can't do that, because if your alternator is dead, you are literally driving off of the power of your battery that you just bought, and that battery is not going to take you. You've already driven over 100 miles on the battery, basically. And there's no way you're going to get another 100 miles out of that battery with no recharging of an alternator. So you need to either have it towed back, otherwise you're going to be stranded on the side of the road of the interstate, and you don't want to do that, which I didn't want to do. So now I'm stuck. I'm like, okay, what do I do? And then so I did a search for alternator mechanics near me, and this wonderful gentleman showed up, or I should say I called, and he answered, and he said, well, I can probably get to you in 3 or 4 hours at the most. And he asked me a lot of questions about my van. I told him what I could, the best of my knowledge. And this was around almost 9 o'clock at that point. So he said that he comes to me, he's a mobile mechanic, and he'll meet me at a parking lot or what have you. I'm like, well, I'm at the parking lot of the Firestone, and I've been told I can't drive it. I said, I'm pretty sure I can get somewhere. Where can I meet you? He says 2 blocks down the road is the police station. Pull into their parking lot and I'll meet you there. And that's where we are. So he got to me by 11 a.m. and got to work immediately, snatched out the alternator. He couldn't bring the alternator that I needed because apparently the make and manufacturer of my van, even with all the information with the VIN number and all this other stuff and the make and model, there's like 5 or 6 different versions of alternator that could go in this van, and he needed to get the right one to replace the old one. And so he had to come and take the alternator out, and that's where we are right now. He is left to go get the proper alternator, and he just texted me a little while ago to say the reason why there were so many different options is because this is a kind of van. I have an air conditioning unit in the back, the system in the back. It's currently not really working. And so I needed a high amperage alternator, and that's why there were so many to choose from. So now he is getting the correct brand new alternator, and I think he just quoted me as $270 for that. So I'm probably going to end up spending about $500 today to get back on the road. And you know what? I'm not even upset. I know what I was getting into when I got an older van. I knew that even though it runs great, it is old, and there are parts that are going to be replaced. I just replaced the front end 2 months ago. So I'm just sort of rebuilding the van. The interior is wonderful. It's very clean, very well kept. Engine is good. Transmission is good. I got new tires, got a new front end. I've serviced the air conditioning system. It gets ice cold in here. It's very comfortable. I love this van, and I'm just going to roll with the punches. This is not a work situation. This is a road trip, and if I can get back on the road in the next hour or two, I'm happy. And there's even a thunderstorm headed this way, and I might have to pull over and let that pass, but you know what? That too shall pass. So I'm still in a good mood because I'm in my van. I'm still excited about my trip. I can't wait to get back on the road, and I will just maybe I'll just document this whole road trip as it unfolds. So stay tuned, and I should have some more information hopefully very soon. Okay, so the update on this saga regarding my car is I have a new alternator. The first alternator that this gentleman tried to install was faulty, so he had to go back and get a second one. And I don't have a pointed head. And so he had to go back a second time and get another alternator. So yeah, so he had to go get a second alternator and come back. And he installed that, and he kept saying that it's getting hot. It's not, the voltage is not where it should be. It's not where, he wasn't feeling where the voltages was, so he kept testing, and it turns out, long story long, where are my keys? Long story long, the terminals were dirty on the, where the wires or power wires connect. And so he started cleaning terminals, and that made it better and more consistent. And so now it's running, because at one point he would turn it on and it would just cut off, which it had never done before. So please excuse the back of my van. It's trash now. So he got it to the point where it was at an acceptable voltage consistently when it was cranked up. And I'm going to crank it up right now because it's hot in here. I've been here since 9 a.m. It is now 2:30. So I asked him, basically he says there's a problem with the power cord. Like there's a compromise in one of the power cords going down into the bottom of the van. He's checked everything else, and everything is consistent across certain connectors. But he said he would have to literally sit here and tear everything apart to find that connector. And obviously we're sitting here in a parking lot. He actually checked from below, and he can't get to that particular wire. So I do need to go to my mechanic and have them look at it. So yeah, $260+ for a new battery, and $570 something now for a new alternator and labor. So I asked him, he said that the power is consistent now. It is charging, and it's being consistent, and he says it looks good. It's within range as opposed to before he cleaned it. However, he does not recommend that I take my my road trip. So I guess I'm headed home. So I made it to Ocala. I got 119 miles under my belt, and now I have to turn around and go back home and go to my mechanic and have them. He said he was going to give me a detailed text about what he thinks it is and what he had done. So yeah, the light is off, the battery level charge is good, and I can make it home. I think it was either that or sit around and wait. I couldn't charge anything, I couldn't plug anything in, I couldn't go very far with what it was doing before. So I think so far, I wound up with a new alternator and some clean terminals. And now I'm going to go back, and hopefully my mechanic can find this wiring issue that is causing, apparently that's what killed the alternator prematurely. So, but once again, this is a 22-year-old van, and things are old, and probably there's corrosion here and there, and it needs to be cleaned up. So that's what I'm going to discuss with my mechanic hopefully tomorrow. So I'm going to call my guy right now. I am going to go now, grab something to eat, because I had breakfast with Wendy's earlier today, and this coffee was nasty, but it kept me awake, so I'm fine. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't let things really bother me. The universe is going to do what the universe is going to do, and I'm just going to go back home and get in my air conditioning and take a shower and get in my bed. I've got 17 days between now and my next assignment, which is a home assignment. So I can hopefully figure this out and just lose a couple of days of travel and still try to do my trip. I'm just going to call my the people that I had reached out to say that I was on my way, and let them know that I might not be coming. I don't like to hold people up like that. I think that is not very considerate. So I'm going to let them know what's going on, and keep them and you updated. Stay tuned.